every summer, in the middle of August, the phone would start to ring off the hook, and your parents would always know that the phone was for you. The standard question from your friends was, "Who do you have?" which would always be followed with, "Oh, not her," or "Oh, you're so lucky." Of course, I'm talking about the teachers. Whether you realize it or not, it is our teachers that have shaped our past 13 years. Well, for me, it was the past 18 years since both of my grandparents were teachers. In kindergarten, we jumped out of bed every morning because we were so unbelievably excited to go to school and see all of our friends and our teacher. It was our teacher who guided our hand when we were learning to write and couldn't form that ridiculous cursive Z. In second grade, we all started to doubt our undying love for our teachers when we started to get math homework. However, our teachers also rehearsed our Go and Buggy songs with us day after day. I remember pledging allegiance to America in one of the most patriotic plays that we did in the third grade, where we learned that the Liberty Bell is more than it's cracked up to be. I remember the class of 2013 absolutely distraught before we got to middle school because we learned that all the teams, and therefore the teachers, were switched for the next year. Now we had no clue which was the project team, or the homework team, or the test team. After receiving that letter in August, we started to build how our year would play out in our head, figuring out which friends would be right by our side, and how we were going to brave the unknown that year. But teachers don't just stand at the front of the classroom and lecture us on history, math, or science. They were positive forces in our everyday life. They donned their colonial garb in the 5th grade and helped us punch tins and make candles. They made sure we were safe as we ran rampant on the streets of Washington, D.C. They spent their extra time devising obstacle courses for the grades to brave while teachers hurtled dodgeballs at our faces every competition day. Teachers have helped us through every big transition in our life. We have all listened to the teachers say, "They won't tolerate this behavior when you get to Mill Pond or Gibbons or the high school." But each change went over so smoothly, and it is all due to the work that the teachers have done to prep us. I know as the biggest change we will experience in our 18 years of life is upon us, that we will be able to take the next chapters of our lives by storm. I know we won't be overwhelmed by the challenges we may face, because Westboro High School teachers have already pushed us to work so hard. I would personally like to thank my 8th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Paulus, whose passion for teaching current events never stopped impressing his students. I know all of his students adored him, and a day in Mr. Paulus's class was always a good day. I would also like to give a special thanks to my student council advisor, Mr. Rhoda. Although many consider him to be a goofball, he has been such an important part of my high school career. He has always been there to help me when I got stuck on how to tackle an issue. Mr. Rhoda always makes me feel self-assured and proud of my accomplishments, and I have to sincerely thank him for putting up with me these past 4 years. I encourage you all to take the time to recognize all that the teachers have done for us over these 13 years. They have spent their extra time creating lessons, grading tests, and running extracurriculars. I don't think we always appreciate all the effort that they put into each of our lives. So I want to thank the Westboro teachers for all their hard work, and I'm sure the class of 2013 would like to join me in thanking the teachers for getting us to today. Gallagher and Emily Williams to say a couple words about our retiring teachers. Thank you.
So I have the distinct pleasure of recognizing Mr. Vitale for his outstanding.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, it is my honor to introduce Margaret Schommer, Student Council President, who will bring forth the welcome.
Welcome, family, friends, faculty, administrators, and the class of 2013. We are here on this beautiful day to celebrate this momentous occasion. I hope you all had a fantastic time at baccalaureate last night. It was an amazing display of the talent that the class of 2013 holds. Today, as we continue to celebrate, we thank you for taking the time to celebrate with us. Time is not always measured by the seconds you've lived or the breaths you've taken. It's often measured in milestones. The first milestone I remember is taking that first step off the bus to kindergarten without my mom there to hold my hand. Each step was farther from what I found comforting, but with each step, I felt myself grow braver and stronger. 4 years later, sitting on my couch in 2004, I remember reeling about the fact that I was 10 years old. My parents did not seem to understand the enormity of the situation. I did not know why I needed to explain that being double digits was a huge deal. But the next milestone came a little sooner, the infamous preteen years, which came with a whole new slew of privileges, like going to the movies without my parents. Then, 3 short years later, I was driving home with my dad after passing my driver's test. My dad sighed and said, "This is it. I've taught you just about everything. Next thing you know, you'll be graduating." I couldn't understand how my dad had taught me everything by age 16, and graduation still seemed eons away. Time has never passed faster. Here we are on the day we have been waiting for what seems like forever. Graduation is different than the milestones that just come with getting older. Today represents all 2,340 days or 17,550 hours that we have spent in classrooms preparing for today, where we can say we did it. And we are ready to enter a stage of complete independence. Remember this moment as time begins to pass us by. Our life thus far has been very certain. We knew every morning we would get up and go through the same routine as the day before. I personally could count on the fact that the bus would drive by my house at 6:51 in the morning, and come lunchtime when I opened my lunchbox, there would be a turkey and cheese sandwich waiting for me. However, today marks the uncertainty that lies before us, which is undeniably daunting, and yet it is now the time to take risks. JFK once said, "Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly." It is from our mistakes that we learn the most about who we are and how we can be better. I urge you to take all that you have learned so far in life and take a leap, because the world is in need of those who are willing to risk it all and jump. And as this chapter of our life comes to a close, it is important to recognize that our opportunities are endless. The key is the willingness to put in the effort to work for our dreams. Sitting in the stands behind us are our family and friends who have helped us get up when going on seemed improbable. We did not make it to this day by ourselves by any means. It's our family's continual love and support that has allowed us to sit here and celebrate all that we have accomplished. We are no longer on the precipice of change. Change is here, right now. From this point on, nothing will ever be completely the same. Take that openness as a challenge to be the person you have always wanted to be, because our time is now. We have spent the last 13 years following what our teachers, administrators, and society needs us to do. We no longer have to let life happen. We are the catalysts in our own future. We get to decide whether or not this is where our story ends. High school does not need to be our glory days. I believe that all of our glory days are yet to happen. The class of 2013 has always been one to march to the beat of its own drum, and that truth will only strengthen all of our success. Class of 2013, go make a life, not a living. Congratulations.